Hello, hello, hello. What is up? Hello. Welcome back to more Polish Justice. Of course, my favorite streams of the year. My favorite streams as of right now. Actually, to be fair, that's a lie. All my streams are my favorite streams. Because it's so fun. Hi, welcome. Welcome back to the trial of Tournament Succession. Last time, we figured out that our client is actually a forger. And that, we're no closer to solving the actual murder. I'm still going with the theory that Drew Masham faked his own death. It could be something simpler also, as in, there never was a Drew Masham. Or there was. But he's completely irrelevant to this. And he died many years ago. And, Vera just keeps up the facet that he's alive. And it's like, how would anyone know he was the very secluded man? A lot of theories, but I'm going with the theory that he faked his own death. Because I think that theory fits Ace Attorney very well. Just the victim faking his own death? Yeah, no biggie. It's just what you get in an Ace Attorney game, Have we ever had a character fake their own death? No, but we had characters considered dead before. Oh, wait, no, shoot. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't come till later, because technically, Adventures comes out after Polish Justice, obviously, because, actually, the only game that doesn't predate, the Ace Attorney Adventures is Spirit of Justice, and, of course, Resolve, but you can't have a Resolve without Adventures, so that's the thing there. And speaking of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, let me look at that poll, because I'm not gonna call it until Friday, so you guys still have time to vote on a poll for which episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles that we will be replaying for Turnabout Christmas. The Turnabout replay this year. Last I checked, it's a tie between the Adventures of the Unbreakable. It's the Adventures of the Unspeakable Story and the Return of the Great Departed Soul. Yeah, that's still it. It's still a tie. But I'll be real with you, I'm the one who voted for the Return of the Great Departed Soul because it is absolutely my favorite episode of all Ace Attorney. Actually, that's a lie. My favorite episode of all of Ace Attorney actually goes to Register the Turnabout. It's just so chaotic, but so good. So, and I was a little upset that didn't win, even though in that poll I did vote for Rise from the Ashes, just because I don't remember Rise from the Ashes as well, because I kind of rushed through it in my original playing through, because I didn't want to be like in the middle of a game when I had to take a break, because I was working at Amazon in December, and Amazon December sucks. That's why I left. So you still. Oh, I should probably get you guys that. Get you guys the poll. I'll put the poll in chat right now for those who want to. Vote on which episode of the Turnabout replay we will be playing this year. So have fun. Go vote. Go vote. But for now, we'll do some Turnabout Succession. We'll play the Apollo's Justice trilogy. Loki. Turnabout Succession. October 8th, 1:24 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 6. Okay. So where does this exactly leave us, Apollo? Well, our client is definitely a criminal, but she did not murder. In the cases of this court, she's innocent. Of this case, she's innocent. She did not murder. Capiche? Our client did not murder. Let me zoom in so everybody understands. Oh. Our client. Oh, and I'll make myself even big so everybody understands. Our client did not murder. Got it? Good. Hope everyone understands our client did not murder. Alright. Where were we? Other than our client didn't murder. Because that's absolute fact that you cannot change. Because this is Ace Attorney. Well, the Drew Mission who was killed wasn't the Drew Mission forger, basically. Or was he killed at all? Dun dun dun! Yeah, this is me going on my theory that he faked his own death. Huh? Well, then who was he? Well, he actually was doing her nails. So, you really made those forgeries? Yes, father. I know it was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had the talent. The talent for making forgeries? How should I say it? It was only paintings I made. Given the material, I could make anything. Anything. Father was so proud, and I was so happy. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now, because of me, father is... Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. So you're already she's 19, correct? She's young. I remember that. Yeah, she's 19. So this would put her at like 12. You're already creating your works back then? I started when I was only 12 years old. Well, that was 7 years ago. So the one who figured out the stamp was poison was Mr. Justice. Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. Right. Out of time. Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please. Those two paintings in the studios. I painted those as part of my work. Right. See, we checked them and we saw that what was underneath. We saw rough sketches underneath the 3 paintings. I see. Mr. Justice? Yes? Father, he knew of you. Of both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about these Wright & Co. law. All about the Wright & Co. law offices. But we're not Wright & Co. anymore. We're Wright Anything Agency, you dumb. How would he not know that our name changed? But lately, we're not doing the just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Jerry's on the piano playing part. Well, they're not really gags. Yet, when Father heard it, you resumed the legal business. How pleased he was. Why would some random painter be happy that we returned to law? Mr. Misham? Am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? I doubt that highly. Actually, no, I don't doubt that highly. How old was he? Okay, I doubt that highly. Because he would have been like fucking 21 when Phoenix was born. I mean, I don't doubt it, like, unconsciously, but it's probably not true. Judging from the relative age, I'd say it's highly unlikely. Hey, there's only an age difference of like 18 or something. Things are really confusing with all these daddies running around. Oh god damn it, Apollo! We know that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? Guess we're about to find out. October 11th, 8th, 1:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails, clearing off. Wasn't she painting them? Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. Did you set this up? Did you set this Drew Mission forger persona? There's that stare again. She's drilling more holes into his head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. I don't think that's why, but I mean, he does have a kind of a pretty face. I mean, he is a legendary rock star after all. What's hard? Very well, miss. Yes. Sorry, I was just trying to make a joke about how they're gay. Very well, miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted that painting? Remarkably similar one. Oh, yes. I painted it, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So, she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet, she did not wish to reveal the truth of their operation. So the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. I will still say, in the case of murder, she did not murder. She may be a criminal, but at least she did not murder. That's what my take on the case. About, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes. It was in the desk drawer. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. I created things, and Father sold them. This envelope came after my first work. That was other than a painting. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received the stamp that was in the envelope. It was after the job we moved to the current studio. There certainly was much for a great interest of you in your testimony. Not that the witness realized it. Very well. Please begin the cross-examination. Right. Okay. I need more information about this forger. This Drew Misham. So these things you were making, or you mean paintings identical to other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier Father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young. You're still quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, she had no idea what she was doing. She had no idea what she was doing was illegal. Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. Right. We're here to... She had no idea what she did is illegal. In all cases, it doesn't matter what she did that night. True. Please, tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. Alright. By other than a painting, you mean? You only done paintings up till that point? Yes. But Father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance, a letter that someone had written. Okay. Not that I'm condoning this. Not that I'm condoning any of this, okay? Record put on the reg, I do not condone forgery. But I actually know a little trick to help with forgery. I learned... Hold on 1 second. I learned this in one of my art classes in high school. And oh jeez, I feel kind of embarrassed talking about this a little bit. So, especially because, like, as you know, I went to a Lutheran high school. So, anyways, so when I was in my art school, we did this assignment where we had to take like a picture, and we had to like flip it upside down and then recreate it. And I remember when we were talking about this assignment, my teacher said this is a very excellent tip for forgery. It's just like kind of turn it upside down, because there you're not really looking at letters, you're just looking at shapes, and it's common practice within forgers. So, hi, I'm Nitronova. I'm not condoning forgery, but just turn it upside down. Anyways, that's my little piece, and I wanted to tell that little story. Or a fingerprint left up on a cup. Or a signature on a document, sealed upon a letter. None of this is making her sound very innocent at all. No, it's not. These are all criminal activities. And the 100 grand promise in this letter was the start. The beginning of a new industry for Drew Mission. A new industry? The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Sorry, did not mean to change to Nova. After all, nobody redeemed the Tonova toggle. The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. Hold on, just 1 second. Forging evidence? Drew Misham knew of Phoenix rights. Or at least of Renko law offices. Maybe I used forged evidence, or maybe I didn't. Did Vera create the piece of forged evidence? Huh. Also, my curtain's wet now. Yay for Spick Tanks! Uh-oh. I think Apollos realized it too. Father handled the deal. All of it. So you didn't know how the things you were making were being used. I enjoyed painting very much. I think I understand. The fraudulent has lived on an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp. This is a rather important matter. Give your answer some thought. What do you mean, you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison on the back. Aquine. A moment, her head. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Now then, perhaps you would like to tell me, Fraudulent Vera, why did you receive the stamp? Is something wrong? It was beautiful. Ah, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So, you didn't know about the poison? Oh, she's gonna doodle. I guess not. So the trap failed by chance, by mistake, thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite the close call. It was after that job we moved to the current studio. You mean you moved to where the current studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. The single job had tied them to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Mishram wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. That was the real essence. So the real essence of the artist drew Mishram. You did the work, and he supplied the face. So, you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Apparently not. About this commemorative stamp. Could you tell us more about it? It was very pretty, and more than that. Yes? It was a picture of people I liked at the time. This is something new. Apparently, we've got some cross-examination yet ahead of us. If you would like so kind to continue your testimony for Fraudulent. The stamp was a feature of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Magicians? I love mysterious things. Always have. Even though she was faint of heart when she saw Mr. Pat. You're confusing mysterious with freaky. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great, yeah, sure. No need to get all excited. But magic is over. We saw suspended soon after. I was quite sad. Did she just say what I think she said? Magic to Ope? Now where have I heard that before? Oh, do I have it queued up? I don't think I do have it queued up. Sad, but I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna grab and play it. I know exactly where it is on this playlist. Wait, no, hold on, I'm gonna... The red envelope came after she completed her first job. That makes it a letter from her client, whoever wanted a forgery. Apollo! We're close. I just have to piece it all together, the parts. A deadly weapon in a red envelope. And the path it took to Drew Mushroom's life. Wait, do we present the ticket? Just be like, were these the magicians you wanted to see? And then Apollo's like, here, take my ticket. You'll probably be in jail in 3 days, but... I think that's what I'm gonna do. Aha! Can't show our trump card just yet. By those magicians you like. Was it this bunch? Apollo! They're not a bunch! I see. Still, I have to wonder. Why include a commemorative stamp like that in the business letter? Good question. Well, pretty stamps are always better. You can't beat Toupe Gourmet! But the whole murder plan was failed because of it. Ironic, don't you think? Prosecutor Gavin? Someone's a little mad that he didn't know. Prosecutor Gavin? Graham! Gourmet! What's this Gavin? Do you not remember Turnabout Serenade, Apollo? Might I just ask one question for this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work other than a painting. Please, tell me. What exactly did you make? Can I... No. Answer the question. Now! But Prosecutor Gavin. Thought he was always one with for the ladies. And Apollo, apparently. You're usually not the one who follow concerns me. He's a rock star, Your Honor. Yes, it is unbecoming of me. I apologize. You're a rock star. Volume should be one of your biggest assets. But I must know. Please, Miss Masham, tell me. Not calling her a fraudulent Vera? It was a book. A single page. In a book. A book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary. No! I don't know! with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was there a picture of a silk hat on the back cover? Yes or no? No. Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all your questions. Stop badgering her. Wow, it's the first time the defense attorney has to tell that to the prosecution. Whoa! He told you nothing, has he? Your soiled mentor. Nothing? Soiled who? Ha! Maybe there was a piece of forged evidence. Maybe there wasn't. I wonder who he's talking about, Apollo! Phoenix Wright can't pick a normal case, can he? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago. No, because he's like, the past is the past and with whatever, man. Thought he came to lose his attorney badge. It was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. A certain diary. On the back, for the mark of the still cat. Ah! What? Phoenix Wright tossed out of the professional by false evidence, and the forger who made that evidence. Is this girl standing right in front of me? Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made was used in a trial 7 years ago. Who asked Drew Mission to forge that evidence? For all of our sake, who was it? We only met once. You met the client? Well, who was it? It was... What's going on with Vera? She's staring right at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes, what? Is there something about me? Christopher made it. Christopher asked for the forged evidence! There's no reason why she wouldn't look at... Why she was looking at Calvert! They're brothers! Obviously! Oh my gosh. She's not looking in awe of him. She's looking... I think she looks at him in fear. She must mistake him for her. She must be mistaking him for his brother, which makes sense. They are brothers and they look similar. And after all, she doesn't know much about the outside world, so she doesn't. And never has in this court so far has somebody called him Calvert instead of Christopher, and not other than just like Gavin or Prosecutor Gavin. So of course she wouldn't know. I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book, the diary. Who was it? Vera? The devil. Thump. Defendant Vera Misham. Examiner's equine poisoning. This ends the recording of the trial of murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was, during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. The dosage is just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life. She is currently in intensive care and will not be disrupted for any reason. A very simple case, at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. In some ways, it was the starting point of it all. And that's where we must go. To find the whole truth. Oh, we're gonna continue. That was only like 40 minutes. Yes, well, can save. Back. Yes. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I played for a long time. And only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. Well, it seems I found the partner I've been looking for all along. Over a card game. Why, yes. Over a game of cards. That was how we first met. 7 years ago. "7 years earlier, Phoenix Wright's final trial." Now this is going to beg me the question. Does this happen before or after? This is after investigations! Investigations takes place in March! April 19th, 9:27 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew. Okay. It's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Gotta try and relax. Good morning, Mr. Amagar. I'm so sorry to sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand. I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. But what do I have for evidence? Oh, jeez. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Magnified Garamay. Estimated time of death, April 13th, between 11 and 11:30. Cause of death, loss of blood, bullet to the wounds. After significant tumor found in the victim's liver. Okay, so this is Trucy's real dad. So all we did was play cards. And that was enough. Huh? Actually, it wasn't. Trust me. Oh, morning, Daddy! I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They're picking on you? I'm fine, as always. This old boy is here to help me out, after all. That's young man to you. I am like 26. Good morning. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Thanks. My first show is today, after all. Oh, I'm sure it is. What the heck she's talking about? Oh, old boy. I love this young Trucy. Huh? Me? Look, he started it. Here. It seems that fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. Magma Garamay. What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important. What's this? A memo for you or such? Not from the looks of it. What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'll give it a read later. I already read it, though. So Trucy gave the forged evidence to Phoenix. So therefore, we still don't know. Well, how do you feel about the trial today? We'll get through it. Somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor's a new guy here today. I hear. Ah! An easy win, then. Yes? They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of the prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. The switching of attorneys just before the trial. I know it's a difficult situation I put you in, but allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. So, do your best, but do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a pep speech. I'll do what I can. Ha 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 ha! See, you do not. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes. It isn't that right, Trucy? Yep. You bet, Daddy. My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can for their sake. I believe the curtains will be lifting any time now. I'm in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. My client is Shani Enagar, known to the world as Zack Garamay, a wildly popular magician, star of Top Garamay. His mentor, Magnified Garamay, was a rare beat-reader magician. He single-handedly ushered in the golden age of stage magic. Until he was shot dead. And Zack Garamay is the suspect. April 19th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 7. Court is now in session for the trial of Shady M. Magar. May I ask this is gonna sound dumb. Anyone in chat remember why am I trying to remember Turnabout Trump's the Turnabout Trump this victim name. It probably doesn't matter much anyways. I'm curious though, it's gonna bug me. Hold on. I'm literally just looking for the name of the character, the victim. Shady Smith. We'll keep that in note. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking. is all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is that some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where are the sweaty palms? The pounding hearts? The trial's only just begun! A gambler's concert's got 10 times the thrill this gig's got. Ooh, where are you again? Calvert Gavin. I came to get the party started. Legally, ja? Gavin, defense attorney, Christopher is Gavin's. Ah, figures my bro is more famous in this part of town. Calvert Gavin, lead singer from the mega hit band The Gaffners. You're out of your league, rock boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league. Phoenix is a fucking open book, and he's learned to be more mysterious. True, my debut single, 13 years hard time for love, was the platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, Jack. Talkative, aren't ya? I like your affected or your rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up. Her attorney, right? Perhaps he would be so kind to fill us in on the case. Achim, baby. Time to call the opening act. What was his name again? Ah, yes, Detective Gumshoe. Hit it! We did get to see Gumshoe! That just makes my day. And hey, you're the one who called me up here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Detective Gumshoe. Long time no see. Hey, you! Huh? Me? Today's the day, pal. Say I win and you lose! I got confidence in my testimony, DC. But you normally lack confidence in your testimony? Hey! He's just doing what Detective Bat has told him always to do. To never give up his detective spirit. Oh, wait, sorry. Happens first. Because investigation comes out after Apollo's justice. Her detective, this is my stage. Candy antics. Huh? All this hey you and such. I could care less about your history together. Irk. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would, please tell us about the case at hand. It happened 6 days back in the room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's the crime scene. The victim was a patient asleep in the hospital bed. The killer comes in, puts a pistol to the forehead, and bam, lights out. Them's the facts. Not so long ago, the victim, Magnified Garamay, was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Ah, yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. Say the name Magnify once to one of my generation, and you'll be lucky to get a blank stare. Yes, though I'm sure you youngsters today know his disciples even better. I dare say Toupee Garamay had made quite a name for themselves. Anyhow, the retired Magnify has been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? A male, ignorant tutor or something. Do something to his liver, I think. Yeah. A malignant tumor, perhaps. In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only had 3 months to live, in fact. The facts do seem simple enough, but something's not right. The victim was already climbing to a 3-month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock on heaven's door? Why shoot him? Did they just want to write in as many 80 Rock references as they could? Is that the whole joke? Is that the whole point with youngster Caliber?
I wouldn't have put it quite so lyrically, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. Diabetes. In fact, he was about to shoot up his insulin. When he was shot with a pistol, the syringe was found at the crime scene. Chronic diabetes and cancer. Man, he probably had not even had 3 months to live. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. No, really? I believe the question before us is clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Very well, detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us to the circumstances of the shooting. Yes, sir! I thought you were confident in your testimony, Gumshoe. I was literally trying to go back old school, but it's still trying to do the graphics. Like, I don't know how. Actually, the victim has kind of ordered the defendant to do it to him. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting? Then is this really a crime? Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. To my beloved student, Zach. To you I entrust the task of blowing... Hey, I was reading that. To my beloved student, Zach. To you I entrust the task of lowering my life curtain. Come on the 13th, 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with... She will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse. And we both know the reason why. Magnify Garamay. Although could such a thing as a letter really cause the one to pull the trigger, I wonder. Oh, fuck! Hit the wrong button. I always hated getting shots. I guess Magnify was giving himself the insulin shot. There's no way I could do that. Wait. If Magnify used this to inject his insulin, why are there no traces of having been used? Something to keep in mind. Well, in my defense, I have no idea how I... So I just want to know. Each attorney badge has a number engraved on the back. No two numbers are the same. So if you dropped it, people would know it was you. Better make sure I don't lose mine. Right. Let's not lose it. Yeah. Although I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter. Ah, you cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, not even the defense won't say a peep about it, that, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil's in the details, her attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. every night for half an hour starting at 11. The victim, Magnified Garamay, was given an IV. An IV? There's the picture of it, off the side of the bed. At 11, the doctor would come in and set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happens every night, without fail. So that was the only time they could have met without the chance of an untimely interruption. During his IV. Very well, shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you would. What's this reason he could not refuse, I wonder? He could have at least mentioned it to me. Just because he got the letter doesn't mean he went through with it. Oh, I disagree. The victim was, indeed, shot in the forehead after all, just as he has been commanded. It could have been a setup, but let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let this witness talk for a change. Thanks, pal. Fine, I can play it as low as well as I can play it fast. I'm with the testimony, Detective Gumshoe. And this letter was sent by the victim? There it is. Gotcha! You're all mine this time, pal! Huh? I had the handwriting checked out, of course. It's the victim's, no mistake. Ah, I see. Ha 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 ha! Score one for the boys! I didn't lose. I was just asserting the facts. So why am I so annoyed? Hold on one second. It's Detective Gumshoe. So that's why you're annoyed. But a letter ordering your own death. I wonder, is the note that Tracy gave us the forged evidence, or is it that note that's the forged evidence? Interesting. Because I think it is, because here's the thing. I mean, this doesn't look like it's from a notebook, but this does look like it's from a notebook. So I think the page that Tracy gave us is the forged evidence. Or the forged evidence. Allegedly. I love using that word. Allegedly. Things aren't what they used to be, I guess. Your Honor, I'm not sure this is exactly commonplace even now, Your Honor. So anyways, guess I'll keep it up while I'm ahead. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. How can you be so sure? Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself. Get that noggin cracking. You failed to grasp the concept of questioning, Detective. First, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead, loud and clear. I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it. Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal. You failed to grasp the concept of shooting people as bad, Detective. Oh, Gumshoe wouldn't hurt a fly. It's fine. We also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. The trace of the gunpowder residue showed it has been fired recently. Well, Mr. Wright, as far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issues with the prosecution's claim. That photo. Maybe there's something in there I can use. I will ready a gun with... you will shoot one shot square in the head or you cannot refuse. It's interesting. Can I see the pistol in question? Your Honor? Or Prosecutor Grabman, really? Because you'd probably be the one with the evidence. May we see the pistol in question? They're saying the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think that there's a hole in the prosecution's argument. Clearly, and not gone. I'm going to say I have no clue. Unfortunately, nothing in this picture suggests he didn't do it. Ah, I see. That is unfortunate. Huh? Well, let's pay no mind and carry on, shall we? I like a fast tempo. Huh? Hey, I still got stuff to talk about, pal. Everyone's so eager to move on, so of course I want to slow down. Is there really not a single clue in this picture? Back to the testimony, if you would, detective. To be fair, I feel like there is something wrong with that photo. But I want to continue pressing gumshoe because it's my favorite hobby. Okay, second favorite hobby. The second is the bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene. No doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. You mean this pistol, the one in the crime scene photo? That's the one. It's a funny looking gun. There's no mistaking it. We compared the bullets taken from the victim's skull with the bullets fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullet were a perfect match. So, you verified the murder weapon, in other words. You bet we did. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. Why are you so certain? What pile of sand has your head? What pile of sand has your head been sticking out on all this time, pal? True. Because, like I said, this happens after investigations. But Larry said it's been quite some time since I've seen the man in the blue suit. Are we sure? But that makes me think: was he even referring to Phoenix? But because the whole joke of investigations is they would reference Phoenix, but never by name. You never heard of the Zack and Valen quick draw shoot 'em? Huh? What's that? One of the defendant's specialties. Zack and Valen stand on the other side of a girl, and then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead, they hit everything else on the stage. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it. Many boys and girls joined the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that would explain a lot about the police force. Topke and May stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held on to that pistol ever since. The court would like to see this pistol in question. You got it, sir. Here she is. Well, this truly is a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for magic shows, see? But it can fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it can only hold one round. By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty, and it shows traces of having been fired recently. So if any fingerprints were found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant was known for wearing gloves. We might say a lack of fingerprints is in fact a fingerprint of its own. Ha! Intriguing point. Well made. Whoa. Not well made. Not intriguing. In any case, the court accepts this as evidence. My grandchild would get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to our testimony. I didn't have time to gather all the details before coming here. This testimony might be my only source of information. Better pay attention. And read this letter carefully. I will... Actually, the victim kind of had an order to the defendant to do it. The photo. Maybe there's something too there I can use. So they're saying that the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument. Clearly, Mr. Narg shot something else. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me. Yes? What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes? Bingo, pal! That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead. Oh, the defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make. Nah, or he was slamming the wall, proving all the other. And what can you prove is this photo? I can prove that he had a choice. Yes. The defendant might have fired as he was ordered, but he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you are thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? Obviously the forehead. The clown doll. Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead, too. Ah! There's a hole in its forehead. Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim. Ha! I suppose you have a reason to why he shot the clown doll? He didn't just shoot the doll. He shot the doll's forehead. His forehead? Ah! Let's read the order once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot, square in the forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead. The defense has raised an intriguing possibility. That hole in the clown's forehead, it definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter. I admit, I am impressed, but I expected nothing less. I mean, come on, I've been an attorney for 3 years now. Like, cross arms, being like, all cocky, smug. Still, this does not mean he didn't shoot the victim. Perhaps he did not have to shoot the forehead as ordered, but the letter said nothing about whose forehead. This is the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life. The bullet hole in the clown doll's forehead does demand an explanation. Might very well be a clue. Yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. So sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice's overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big this little hole is going to get. You're dealing with the case from Phoenix Wright. He's dealing with Phoenix Wright here. He doesn't know what he's getting into. Please take this newfound fact into account of your testimony. So what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal. So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown, then shot the victim? Yay! Not a bad summary, pal. More of a confirmation than a summary, but whatever. That was really more of a confirmation than a summary. But our defense attorney seems pleased enough with himself. Do these people ever miss a chance to mock me? No, Phoenix. You're back. No, Phoenix. That's why you got out of the attorney game, right? Because the people always mocked you, right? So you had to find another chump who would take all the mocking for you. And hence Apollo. Oh, shit. Let's see. Apollo would be like 15. Apollo probably just decided. I was like, hey, maybe I should be a lawyer. Well, now that Mr. Red's gotten that out of his system, shall we continue with the testimony? I didn't have time. The trickiest cases often seem the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed the bullet hole. You missed the bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have come to a very different conclusion. Understand? Yeah, but like I said, pal, after he shot the clown in the forehead, he went and did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he could not. The murder weapon? How? It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time. Ah! If he had shot the clown in the forehead. You're forgetting the simple, obvious choice, Phoenix, of reloading the gun. He couldn't have shot the victim, too. Yarg! Wait, hold on. That's not a contradiction. Not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot. Oh, where did he get the extra bullet? Not that they're easy to come by, you know. If you claim the defendant had already had one, that proves to us how he got it. Irk! I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. Yeah, it's because Objection 2001 just started playing. The classic, the OG Objection. And I haven't proved anything yet beyond my good looks and startling new record sales. Wow, boastful one now, are we? Calm down, you're just a beginner, prosecutor. I've dealt with your kind before. Actually, no, because that was pretty taunting. Because he was a defense attorney before he was, but he didn't really remember. But he was in a coma for 5 years before that, so all you had is a brother who's a defense attorney. Another lack of humility. Oh, what's this? It seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared. Like I said, her detective was just a warm-up act. Ugh. Aw, poor Gumshoe. Poor Gumshoe. Now that the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come, they're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who you will find can prove one thing for us. There was that Garamay who shot the victim in the forehead. Very well. We will pause for a 15-minute recess. This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach. Court is adjourned. Wait, that's it? Okay, we're gonna finish up this trial then. Okay. Did I just save over the same file? Yes. April 19th, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less! We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, the way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'll scare Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? You have seen the problem yourself. The letter. The one shot in the forehead one, right? Yes, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say, for now at least. What's this for now business? I'm your attorney, you better tell me, you bitch! That's probably not something you want to hear from your attorney. It's like, that's like, says you got a bad lawyer. I'm your attorney, bitch! I have done many things in my life, and some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. We? You want to know about the night of the incident? Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon the bedside table 2 pistols. 2? Yes, the one that I used on stage, and the one that had been used by my partner, Valiant. Oh, for Zack and Valiant's quick draw thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light of sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then, for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first. So there was another request he couldn't refuse before? To be honest, I've not always been so steadfast. And I fear I brought pain upon Trucy. Was Magnified coercing his disciples somehow? Just what was going on in Tope Garame? Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown! I took the pistol I'd fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor's. What were those called? Rifling marks? Yes. Well, that's all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? You mean there was something else you could tell me? Ha! Ha ha ha! You're a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks? Yes, there's something. My mentor. His eyes opened. What? Magnified Garame? The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him anyways. And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion. Maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Ha ha! Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Zack Garame, he seems pretty steadfast to me. Or maybe just stubborn. But Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom. Once again, I am in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. Let me guess, this decisive witness is going to be Valiant, isn't it? It's not or it's going to be like the doctor. Court is now back in session. During our recess, a bullet was found and dug out of the clown's forehead. Well, this is news. And the rifling works? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness. How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry, it's on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he's intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other half of the Tope Garame's famous duo, Zack and Valiant. I knew it was going to be Valiant. Valiant Garame. So, we get to meet the great magician's other disciple. Oh my gosh, he looks so young! Oh my gosh! Perhaps we could start by asking your name and occupation. Valiant Garame, magician. Oh, and you are the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student, your partner's guilt? Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Wait, the shooting took place in the hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes! Now I know how to play on my phone this time! Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ba 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 da ba da da. the characters, don't I? At least your clients are pretty normal, for the most part. I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. That looks very familiar. Wait. That's the same letter Zach Gary May received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, ta-da! Order. And what does it say? Surely not the same thing. Perhaps you should see for yourself. To my beloved student Valiant. To you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtains. Come on the 13th, 11:20 p.m. I will ready a gun, which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Magma Gary May. The court accepts this into evidence. This is most unusual. Exactly what's going on with you folks. What exactly was your toupee Gary May up to? By what you mean? By what you mean? I am just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. It's just my opinion, Her Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coerced them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together. In so doing, and in such doing, shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there are strains, a wrapping of relationships, you may say. Yet this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they could not refuse. Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters. The defendant, Zach Gary May, stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red rose rise to singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Of course I'm gonna make him all dramatic like as he is in 7 years. Fascinating. Though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time. Ha 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 ha! As every magician knows, timing is everything. When did he... Between 11 and 11:30. Great, cool. Yes. And now it's time to get this party fired up. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time my magnifier requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss. I give it to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. So you're the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusion of this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Gary May, is guilty. Actually, if it wasn't Zach Gary May, then the killer was you, Valiant. I don't think it's... No disappearing act will get you out of that. I don't know. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m. Indeed. In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunt double has left, how would that look? Why, it would be revealed the very secret of my magic! Now that you've revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went to the designated time, and what did you see? The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor has taken his final bow. So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all. I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? I didn't consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. Now you're the one imagining. Isn't it forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination? The witness will refrain from pausing suspiciously before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things. But you're not an attorney, Your Honor. You're a judge. You would judge things. You're allowed to have an imagination, Your Honor. You're allowed to judge things. Which brings us back to this reason. Neither of you could refuse. So it does. And my partner, he did not refuse. But Magnifier wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zack couldn't? Because I had a will of steel, of course. I also did this trick where I bet in steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't so strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zack said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valiant, let me ask you about something else concerning the crime scene. Mainly, the number of pistols. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what? By which you mean what, precisely? And 2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valiant quick draw shoot 'em, correct? One for each of you. You're well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zack tell me back in the lobby? Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the point of time, and found upon that table 2 pistols. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it into my pocket. I see no problem with that statement. Only 1 pistol is visible in the photograph at the crime scene after all. So you picked up that pistol and fired it. Indeed I did. Alakazam! Alakazing! Alakaboom! Is the number of the pistols so really important? Quite important! The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? Only 1 pistol was in the hospital room. With that, I shot the clown. So you took the only pistol there and fired it. That's correct. And that pistol was this one, which was left at the crime scene. Good show. I see you two are a mission of sorts. And you're an idiot of sorts. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare at the witness. So how about the heating up this trial a bit? These slow ballads bore me. I got a hunch, but maybe it's all it is. Maybe I should ask him about something else. The location of the pistol. Where exactly was the pistol when you entered the room? On top of the small bedside table it was. As if to say, here I am, take me into your hands, pull my trigger, shoot him! The victim clearly wanted to be shot. But why? Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang. Yet we'll never hear the truth from his lips. So all we can do is guess. Is the location of the pistol all that important? Quite important. Without a murder weapon, there will be no murder. It's very important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? Why did you do that? I would think calling the police would come first. Then you know nothing about the relationship between the master and his disciple. If your master says die, you die. Do you understand? So you're going to die? Certainly not. It was but an example. In any case, I wanted to fulfill my obligation. A final courtesy to the great mentor, perhaps. Or perhaps not. Perhaps I'm totally confused. Maybe I should ask about something else. The bullet and the pistol. In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician's always prepared, you see. Prepared for... One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pocket and a white rabbit up each sleeve. Alright, show us the white rabbits. And the 7 doves. Clearly, we're dealing with professionals here. This bullet that was loaded is really so important. Without a loaded bullet, we wouldn't have a murder. It's very important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? If the pistol was already loaded, something doesn't make sense. Why weren't the victim's fingerprints on it? You should know that we of the Soup Garamay are capable of many things. One of these being the levitation of iron balls without touching them. There is no magic involved here. Just Shooters was just methodical, that's all. He simply wiped everything of fingerprints. Can't really do much out with fingerprints that weren't there. Maybe I should ask about something else. Okay, I just want this back. So you informed the police. What did you do then? What do you suppose I did? I used my magic to levitate my mentor's corpse, perhaps? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Now please answer the question and skip the sarcasm. After I made my report, I called the doctor and we returned to the room. While we waited for the police to arrive, we discussed stomach medicine. We confirmed this with the doctor. It all checks out. He praised Mr. Valiant on the knowledge of stomach medicine, in fact. It is an honor as I do not deserve, but I accept. Both Magnify students received the same letter. Both of them admit to having gone to the hospital that night. 2 bullets were fired, and one of them killed Magnify. Time to find the cracks in his testimony. Nail it. According to the defendant, Zach Garamay, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table. 2. One of those pistols he used to shot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brain in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Valiant has told us? You see, there is something about this testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you, I took the pistol that there was and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valiant. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullets taken from the victim's skull and the bullet with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullet were a perfect match. Ah! Mr. Valiant, if you fired that pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Order! Order! Well, this is a rather all of a sudden. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin? I owe the court an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that two of these unique pistols were crafted. The analyst of the rifling marks only proves the type of gun that fired them. But that's not what you told us before. You said that they verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now. Quite certainly, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake you made? Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? That was just this morning. I'm still young. Yeah, he's like, what is he? I think if I remember, like he's fucking 17, right? Yeah. Detective on the case and press to examine the scene. Goes by Detective Gumshoe. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took one of the pistols from the crime scene, we'd have not been having this pleasant discussion now. Valiant Garamay. Yes, Your Honor? You were presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you have proven to be more of decisive than decisive. You'll see in time. Huh? The testimony so far has been merely a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? When Mr. Valiant entered the hospital room, the victim has already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, her forehead, the real fight's about to begin. Bring it. Very well. The witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what. I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And one thing in that room... And the one in that room at the time was my partner, not me. Those times are rather close, I'd have to admit. You're talking about an alibi to establish over a matter of minutes. To use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi is easy to explain in this situation, Your Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Cue the song. Cue the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Do it 100 times, and the result's the same. The debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long? What a ripoff! Magic is a world of utmost precision. Hocus Pocus requires a memorable focus. Amid the time of death determined by the doctor there is an unconceivable truth. Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times. As we can expect, the cross-examination requires the same level of position. I would hope the defense remains from customarily boarding sweeping accusations. Let us the least we blur the focus in this case is clearly demands. Point taken. Baseless remarks will result in a penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright. Carry on, Wright. I think I know what to do. Discovered the body, I filled my application and called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. Then why does the obstery report have an estimated time? Fuck! Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly that contradicts the. I thought. You don't sound very sure of yourself, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled. I don't think that won me any points as the judge. Alright! Your Honor! This statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Really? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. Whoops, that didn't go so well. Never mind. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Why, yes. I believe he screamed, "My God, he's been shot in the head!" It doesn't take a doctor to notice that. I probably would have screamed the same thing. And it would have penned the requiem that rose in my sight at the horrid sight. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, her attorney. What do you mean? I've had many right moments. I am Phoenix Wright. I'm the Birdman who's never wrong. May I remind you that the baseless remark will earn penalties. Proceed with that in mind. Yes, Your Honor. What a pain this is turning out to be. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise as to time? We do usually only get an estimated time of death. True. I'm not sure I heard this verified time of death. Magic reveals in making the complex appear simple, but reality is the opposite. What appears to be complex in this case is a rather simple matter of subtraction. I see another person has done their arithmetic homework. The point here is that the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph scene. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim Magpie Gary May's schedule. Every night, 11 of 8, Magpie takes IV drip for 30 minutes. I can see the IV bag there, right there, yeah. Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end. Ah, the needle's been removed. Doubtlessly, it fell over when he was shot. That would seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purpose as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctors determine the time of death. From the amount of remaining in the bag, it would determine that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. And so it was, when I, Valiant, entered that room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof. Well, Mr. Wright. Did that seem important? Very important. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the truth. Time. Behold, the power of arithmetic! Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is math! It's the truth. The water... Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When I first entered that room, The stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death was upon my mentor's forehead. And then, his left arm, I spy, arose, drooping and wilting. Its thorn discarded the discarded IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot. Luckily for you, if that IV had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my pawn suspect self. For it is always, without fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valiant won their first Magic Grand Prix? Yes, the very one that held the Association of International Magicians. I was adorned in this entire too. And our trophy, a bust. Ah, what a day it was. This is one trip to Amarillo no one needs. My lucky color, yes indeed, that IV too. I think it was too huge, especially for me, Valiant. That does seem to be the case, indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony? Valiant sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? There's a contradiction. It certainly sounds like your lucky color brought you plenty of luck, but not this time, Mr. Valiant. Your lucky color betrayed you. I'm afraid you lost me. Your Honor, the witness testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? If he wears it, the IV is green, correct? Yeah. But he doesn't. But Valiant Garamay doesn't wear any green. Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusations will be duly penalized. I do hope this latest accusation is well-based. Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here. Very well, let's hear the defense's claim. Where's your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valiant told us? The crime scene tells all, Your Honor. This photo of the crime scene? All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white. Clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Herr Wright, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure, and I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. When this witness contradicts the witness's testimony. I told you, it's the color of the IV. Valiant Garamay, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kinda takes the mystery out of it, but yes. Something's wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright. Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene. Well, what's this? Confusion, doubt, tell us, what does your elderly eyes spy? Even my elderly eyes can see there's a problem, Mr. Valiant. Look at that IV bag. Ach! What's this? What's foul dick? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic was involved in taking the photograph. No! Oh, there's the bunnies. And I think I saw 3 doves. So we're missing 4 doves. Order! Order! What does this all mean? This has to be some kind of mistake. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Your witness is a mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valiant Garamay, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing. And to think, you almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. He said the name of the game! Hold on a second. Yeah, he said the name of the game. Well, not this game. There's a different game. Actually, he still didn't say that right, because that would be Phoenix Wright's attorney. Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness testimony does contradict the evidence. Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. Can I say, the courtroom is a rockin' today. How do you mean, how? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree, at the glance, the IV liquid doesn't appear to be a sort of greenish yellow. But I assure you, the liquid itself is quite yellow. Yellow liquid? How can you say that? The bag is blue. As far as I can tell, from this photo, it's green. Yes, but what color is the IV bag itself? The bag? You mean the plastic bag on the hook? It looks like I want to say a light blue. Precisely. Figured it out yet? Put a yellow liquid in a blue bag and you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color. I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it. As I thought. There is no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you just proven something rather grave. For you, that is. Grave? The liquid in the bag is yellow, yes. But how did the witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. Did you think about it? Didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requested an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know that the IV liquid is actually yellow? Heck! 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's only 4 doves. We're still missing 3 doves. Order! 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 No, hold on. Just a second, Your Honor. We noticed had now a little interest. Pursuit Corner started playing. Do, do, do. Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV leg, so I'm sure it means something. But what? I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valiant Garamay, has testified the IV liquid is yellow because he's seen it before. From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he's seen it before. But not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear, colorless bag. I suppose he would have too, but I'm not clear as to what this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at the hospital? That's where you find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I find nothing. So what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave it to the getting excited over absolutely nothing to your teeny bopper fans, ja? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with a 20-minute worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin. I remember it well. However, there is a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. But wait, I know. An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right. As such, it pains me to say this, Your Honor. No. Unlike the sand through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body, at which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid has been increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, her right? You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. No, wait! I said wait! How might an amateur an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I just want like, if you're like, it's like the two arguing over being like who's the better lawyer, and then the judge just stands over them. It's like, amateurs. It's like, what'd you say? I said amateurs. I would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag. You didn't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV and threw her off the time of death. I'm tired of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back to down to earth? Valiant Garamay, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in the life of crime. Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness has certainly been able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was... the victim's syringe. It was the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick, and easy enough for an amateur to use. But what kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe administering his insulin shots. There should have been a trace of insulin left inside. Well, Valiant Garamay? As you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes a perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will. Kadoosh! Oh, there's 4 more doves. I think we exceeded the amount of doves by like 5. I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that, while there is a doubt to the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much-needed investigation. Work. I see there is no... Well, you know it's Caliber when Guilty Love starts playing. Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing binds the one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young, and they'll sweep your feet from under you. In a way you never, ever expected. You'll see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid? But there's no proof. There's no proof that he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's a mitigant? Nor was this witness quite decisive as I hoped. This, I admit, after all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much more? You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin? Proof, her judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less. What's this? This is the victim Magpie Garamay's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magpie began writing his memoirs, it seemed. The story of his birth, the startling debut, and the meeting of his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say the reason, and does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun after 11. Let's read it, shall we? Tonight's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first comes soon. The journal may end here or may go on, but not long. That depends on his hands. At left is none left mine to pen. The court accepts this into evidence. I need to read the rest of it. I couldn't read it. Yeah, I know, Calver. I wanted to read it. No clues here. Tonight's IV is in. Maybe the last. This is the last page. The diary ends here. All that is left to do is mine to lay down this pen. Huh? What's this? It looks like a page was ripped out. Well, now, isn't that interesting? Page. It seems that fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least, only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have been supporting me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell, Magpie Garamay. All the journal may end here or go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his. He refers to our defendant, Zach Garamay. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look what he said before that. This journal may end here or may go on. It may go on. Magpie Garamay intended to write again. That is that Garamay didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim diary does not go on. It ends. Because Magpie Garamay's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Garamay. Order! Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magpie Garamay wrote this? There is no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magpie Garamay did intend to continue to write his diary. Yet, if his diary ends here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Garamay. Well, how do you like me now, her right? Still too green for your taste, He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find that hard to believe. That he overlooked such an obvious problem with his precious evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, your witness testimony heard is lacking, but put together with his evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case. If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. I have my trump card, Your Honor! I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think about showing us this diary. I've just shown the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing in his diary. All right, I'll be happy to. Besides the evidence proving the diary didn't end with his pages. I wonder what happens if I did show the diary. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna risk a penalty point for this. This evidence you're saying is decisive. We don't need proof that he might continue his diary. We need proof that he did continue with that diary. Such things exist, of course. Time to get cozy with the court record. I know I got evidence here somewhere. So we don't have a little funny. It's like, why are you showing us this? This is the fucking diary. Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Ensign, don't even think about showing us this diary. I thought I would for the joke. Alright, time to show the forged evidence. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what's believed to be the missing page. I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor on that night shot at Magpie Garamay. That's not the defense's position. Wait, let me see that. It seems like the clock will make me wait a little longer. At least 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life. When the Sand Hill? Why, this is a continuation of the victim's diary. Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page with the Magpie's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, her attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Garamay left, leaving none other to take his life but the second visitor. Valiant Garamay. No! Okay, so now we're short 9 doves. I thought he only had 7. The handwriting matches on the other page. This, without a doubt, is the genuine article. Order! But wait! That's impossible! That old man couldn't have written that! Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Her judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. But Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Well, if you put it that way. Well, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyways. So it might well be sooner. Then, so this is highly irregular. We will put this current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring in the surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped-up page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Okay. Holding a trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a jurisdictional deal with the witness to assure his testimony. A jurisdictional deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say, though it's best to contain the information to this room. Very well. Are you the witness, I gathered? Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the records. My name is Drew Misham. I'm a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah. I know it well. How is that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it. What? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. The prosecution's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Garamay. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large. Drew Mission has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect replications of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? Well, so we are to understand that this page here is a fake. Perhaps by a certain defense attorney. Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence! Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix Wright. Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? That I do not know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That is the extent of my contract with them. But there's no proof, and this is a fake. It's a fake, huh? To avoid them, this is the sort of problem. I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. Oh boy! Here. What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important. It was all a trap. A fatal trap. Mr. Wright? Yes? Do you have an explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in a court is a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? Hi, Buffer! The answer is quite clear. A guilty one. Your Honor, wait! I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for the actions that I undertook as an individual. I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor, another close call, I dare say. If the prosecution office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone your way you wanted to, ja? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Could I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright, I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. So that's why he would go on and keep in close touch. So that's how you would know of Apollo. Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Zach? There's one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom. You cannot declare me guilty. It's impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing in your verdict? When your defendant it does not exist. Does not exist? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this! Mr. Nagar! The defendant escaped! Find him, quick! Bailiff! Close all exits from the building! On the double! He must not be allowed to escape! That day, in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shadi Marg, aka Zakir May, did not just escape from the court. He literally, unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day. This is the Garame miracle! Ha 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 ha! No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of the magician Zak Garame vanished, along with him, for all of eternity. The mysteries that remain behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. To be continued. In our finale of Apollo's Justice Ace Attorney. Yes, we're gonna overside. Thanks for the follow. No, that was not the finale. There's still more trial. But that was just the finale of the trial of 7 years ago. That is the story of how Mr. Phoenix Wright lost his attorney's badge. But we'll continue on next week because I have... Oh, shit! Objection overruled. I has to stop this game at some point. I guess I'm just gonna have to close it without saving. Whoops. So hello. Wow, I am way off to the side. My apologies. So yeah, well, I will continue on Thursday for some more Apollo's Justice. And I might be wrapping up this game sooner than I expected, because I saw that whole 7-year trial thing. That would have been all done like next Tuesday, but it looks like we might be finishing the game next Tuesday, because all we have is that Mason trial thing, and then the former half of the next week's trial, and then the former half of the trial that started. So, yeah. Well, I'll be back on Thursday for more Apollo's Justice. And so, oh, hold on. It feels so weird without music. Oh, but you know what I forgot to do? I had to open the game. We gotta change the music, man. We gotta change music. And since we were dealing with the Phoenix trial, I guess I think we should go with a classic. A classic. Objection 2001, obviously. I'm so glad. And I'm glad though when they were like, oh, what Phoenix music do we choose? And they were like, oh, let's go with the classic, the stuff from the first game, because that's the iconic stuff. Game. Just gonna open it. I'm just doing this literally so I can change music. Well, I was using... No. I did say objection 2001. because it is iconic. So anyways, now that I did that, now we can close the game and put on the media source. Look, so like I said, we should be close to at some point. So after I finish Apollo's Justice, we will be doing I will be playing through Steins Gate 0. Two raid targets. Do we do Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna raid I'm on too stable. Actually, no, we're gonna raid someone else. So, hope you guys all had a good night, and I will I'll see you guys Thursday. Bye!